What is this muscle? That is the tibialis anterior muscle. Action: dorsiflex ankle inversion. Innervation: deep fibular. What is this muscle? Extensor Digitorum Longus. Action: extends 4 toes. So take it down and extends these 4 toes. And that is the Extensor Digitorum Longus. Innervation: deep fibular. And what is this right next to it? Right next to the Extensor Digitorum Longus is the Extensor Hallucis Longus. And this one will extend the big toe. And innervation is the same thing as Extensor Digitorum Longus, deep fibular. What is that muscle? That is the gastrocnemius. Action: plantar flex ankle, flex knee. Innervation: tibial. What is this muscle? That is the soleus muscle. It's underneath. This is underneath the gastro. And the action is plantar flex ankle, innervation tibial. What is this muscle? That's the Flexor Digitorum Longus muscle. Flexor Digitorum Longus muscle. And that extends to 4 toes. What is this muscle? That is the tibialis posterior muscle. Tibialis posterior. That is foot inversion, innervation, tibial. What is this muscle? That is the Flexor Hallucis Longus muscle. The Flexor Hallucis Longus muscle. This is. And you can see it goes to the big toe. And for the flexors Hallucis longus muscle, the action is flex big toe. Innervation is tibial. What is this muscle? It's lateral. It's Fibrillaris longus muscle. Fibrillaris longus muscle. Action, foot eversion. Innervation, fibrillar. So this is I already forgot. Fibrillaris longus muscle. Fibrillaris longus muscle. And right in front of it, or next to it, is this dot and this dot go to the same muscle. And that would be the Extensor Digitorum longus muscle. Extensor Digitorum longus muscle. And for the Extensor Digitorum longus muscle, it extends the 4 toes, and innervation is deep fibrillar. So both extenders. Alright, deep fibrillar. Okay. Okay, let's work on this. What is this muscle? It's not marked, but what is this muscle? That is the Gluteus Maximus muscle. It abducts and medial rotation of the hip. Innervation superior gluteal. Okay? Superior gluteal is innervation for this. Oh, and also for the tensor fasciae latae. Good to know. Alright. What is this muscle? It starts with a P. Piriformis. That's the piriformis muscle. Okay, right here. So it's Gluteus Maximus. Then is the piriformis muscle. And the piriformis muscle's actions are lateral rotation and abducts the hip. Alright, and what's underneath the piriformis? Underneath the piriformis is superior gemellus muscle. And it also, the action is also lateral rotation of the hip. Innervation, cervicopelvis. And just as a reminder, this is peri, and this is Gluteus Maximus. These two have different innervations. The peri innervation is sacral plexus, And right here, the superior geminis muscle, the innervation is also cervicopelvis. So what is right here underneath that? That is the orbital internus muscle. We don't see it, but it will go to the orbital for sure. It's right here, I guess you could see it. But right underneath that. So it's supergeminis muscle. Then is the orbital internus muscle. And what is underneath the orbital internus muscle? Inferior geminis muscle. Inferior and geminis muscle. And what is underneath the inferior and geminis muscle? It's this big rectangle looking thing. Quadratus femoris muscle. Quadratus femoris muscle. It's connecting to the femur. So the action for all of these is lateral rotation of the hip. But the piriformis right here, it's also lateral rotation of the hip, and it's also the abductors of the hip. They all have the same innervation, which is sacral plexus. Sacral plexus. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the next one. What is this muscle? This is the muscle that he's going to use on the model. And that is the Quadratus Labrum muscle. Quadratus Labrum muscle. I'm looking. Okay. But I'll look for the innervation of that. What is this muscle? That is the iliacus muscle. You see, this is the iliac crest. So this is the iliac. This muscle. And that, the action of that, flex and lateral rotation of the hip. Flex and lateral rotation of the hip. Innervation, femoral. Because it's the femur. It helps it move. And what's this muscle? These two dots are one. Well, actually, never mind. These two dots are not one, because as you can see, there's two muscles. Okay, so let's do the inner one, the most medial one. What's this muscle? That is the PSOAS, major muscle. The psoas, or the P is silent, I'm not sure. So that is the psoas muscle. So this is the psoas muscle. And it does the same thing. The action is the same as the iliacus muscle, which is flex and lateral rotation of the hip. Flex and lateral rotation of the hip. And this little guy right here is, think about it, this is the psoas major, because it's pretty big. So this would be psoas minor. That makes sense. It's psoas minor muscle. And I don't see that on here. So maybe I don't have to know that. Let's see, let's look at the list. Nope. I just need to know the psoas major. So this is the psoas major. Alright. Okay, this is the hand. And what is this muscle? That is the, let's see, because I'm not sure what that is. Alright. That is the adductor pollex. This is the adductor pollex. Adducts the thumb. And innervation is ulnar, the ulna. So this is the adductor pollex. What is this? Opponens pollex. This is the opponens pollex. And it's thumb opposition. So you can put the pinky and the thumb together. So opponens pollex. And action is thumb opposition. Innervation, median. Median. And what is this muscle? That is the abductor pollex. Polleces. These are all polleces. And it abducts the thumb. So these three are pretty much have to do with the thumb. And the name says it itself. So this is the opponens pollex, so it's thumb opposition. This is the adductor pollex, so it adducts the thumb. And this is the abductor pollex, and it abducts the thumb. So this is radial for innervation, radial, median, ulnar, radial, median, ulnar, radial, median, ulnar as innervation. Okay. What is this muscle? You know this is posterior view of a person because here is the back of the scapula, the acromion, acromion's right here actually. So if this is the back of the person, what is this muscle? That would be the Triceps Brachii muscle, and the action extend the elbow. So the Triceps Brachii extend elbow, and the innervation for the Triceps Brachii is radial. It's radial. So Triceps Brachii extend elbow and radial. And what's this little guy right here? What's this shape like? It looks like an A to me. Conus, yes, and conus muscle. And it also extends the elbow. So these two extend the elbow. The Triceps Brachii and the conus and conus extend the elbow. And they're both radial innervation, innervated by the radial. So, I'm not sure if we're going to get quizzed on this or not, but these nerves right here, that's the axillary nerves. Just a little info. Because this muscle right here is teres major muscle and tendon. Just bonus. Alright. So we could see this is anterior, because this is the coracoid process. This is the acromion process. So anterior, what is this muscle? There's two heads. So it's biceps brachii muscle. Action, flex elbow, and supination. So this supinates, lets you supinate. And innervation, musculus teres muscle. It's that big M word for the innervation. Musculus muscle. What is this muscle? What is that muscle? Starts with a P. This is the pronator. No. Yes. Well, this shows these two. So therefore, this will be the Pronator Teres muscle. Because this big muscle right here is the Brachiordalis muscle. Brachiordalis muscle. So this is the Brachiordalis muscle, and this is the Pronator Teres, right? Yes. Pronator Teres muscle, and the Brachioradialis muscle. And the Brachioradialis muscle, its action is flex elbow. So the same thing as bicep. It flexes the elbow. And it's in its name, the innervation. Radial is the innervation. And for this muscle right here, that's the Pronator Teres muscle. Oops. Pronator Teres muscle. Right here. Pronator Teres muscle. It pronates the forearm, and it's median innervation. Innervation is median. Okay. What is this muscle? Look where it's coming from. You see where it's coming from? So that is the core brachialis muscle. And action is flex and adducts arm. Innervation is the same thing as the bicep brachii, that big M word. Musculocutaneous muscle. Innervation. Alright. So, what is this muscle? That is the brachialis muscle. Brachialis muscle. And it flexes the elbow. And innervation is radial. Radial. So, this again, this is the bicep brachii. This muscle right here is the brachioradialis muscle. This muscle right here is the Pronator Teres muscle. This muscle right here is the Brachialis muscle. And this muscle right here is Brachialis muscle. Brachialis muscle. Okay. What is this muscle? That is the Flexor Digitorum superficialis. Flexor Digitorum superficialis. Alright. And profound, I guess. So, this is the Flexor Digitorum superficialis. And this muscle, it's the Flexor Digitorum profundus muscle. It's profound. So this is more inner. This is the outer part. So the outer part is more superficialis. And this is inner, so that way it's profound. So this one is the Flexor Digitorum superficial, Brachialis. Flexor Brachialis. And it flexes the fingers. That's the action. See how it goes down to the fingers? Goes down to the fingers is Digitorum. And it's median. That's innervation. Median. Okay. And what is this muscle? That is the Flexor Brachialis Longus muscle. That is the Flexor Brachialis Longus muscle. And this is also the Flexor Brachialis Longus muscle. Okay. And they flex the thumb. You see how it goes down to the thumb? Goes down to the thumb. So it's the Flexor Brachialis Longus muscle. Flexor Brachialis Longus muscle. Flexes thumb. Flexes thumb. Innervation median. Median. So this is median innervation. Median innervation. Okay. What is this muscle right here? That is the Flexor Carpi Ulnaris muscle. Flexor Carpi Ulnaris muscle. You know why it's Carpi? Because it only goes to the wrist. That's why this is here. Just remember that. Wrist. Carpi. Carpi wrist. Carpi wrist. There you go. And then flex and abduct wrists. Flex and abduct wrist. Innervation median. Median. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Flexor Carpi Ulnaris. Because it's with the ulna. Flexor Carpi Ulnaris. So it flex and adducts the wrist. Flex and adducts the wrist. And the innervation is ulnar. Ulnar. Ulnar, ulnar, ulnar. Okay. What is this muscle? That is the Extensor Digitorum muscle. But he wants us to name it as Extensor Communis muscle. Extensor Communis. Let's see how he has it on the notes. Extensor Digitorum Communis muscle. Okay. Extensor Digitorum Communis muscle. Extends the MP joints and it's radial. Innervation is radial. So this is radial. What is this muscle? That muscle is the Extensor Brachialis Longus muscle. Extensor pollex longus muscle. It extends the thumb and it's radial. Innervation, radial. Extensor pollex longus muscle. Radial. Okay. Alright, what is this muscle? That's posterior, because your hand's down. So, posterior is flexor, carpi, radialis muscle. Let's see. It's a flexor because it's posterior, carpi, only goes to the wrist. Radialis muscle. This is the radial muscle. So radial bone, So it's the flexor carpi radialis muscle. And it flexes and it abducts the wrist. And innervation is median. Median. What is this muscle? Flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. So this is pretty simple. This is the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. It's carpi because it only goes to the wrist, and it's with the ulna, so it's flexor carpi ulnaris muscle. And innervation is ulnar, of course. And the action is flex and adducts wrist. Flex and adducts wrist. Okay, so let's start with this one. What is this big bootyish muscle? That is the Gluteus Maximus. Action, extension and lateral rotation, hip. Innervation, inferior gluteal. So the Gluteus Maximus is the inferior gluteal. This is the one that's ass backwards. You would think this is superior, but it's not. It's inferior. This big booty is inferior gluteal. Innervation. Okay. This guy right here, what is that? Tensor fasciae latte muscle. I call it a latte muscle because I would love to have a latte. And what's this muscle? And that is the iliotibial tract. Iliotibial tract. I don't want to speak it and say what action it is without really looking at it. It's the iliotibial tract. Okay. The action is it's a long tendon to lateral condyle of the tibia. Innervation superior gluteal. And the fasciae latae, I say I want a fasciae latae to run down the tract. So the fasciae latae action is prevents collapse of the knee. It locks the knee in place. And innervation is superior gluteal. So these two are superior gluteals, and that is inferior gluteal. It's all sad. Okay. So, continuing with the booty. Well, we should remember what this is now. It's the Gluteus Maximus, and it's inferior gluteal innervation. And who's that muscle? Little muscle in the back. It's the bicep femoris, and it's lateral. Always goes on the outside, so it's lateral. Remember that. It flexes the knee and extends the hip. And innervation, sciatic nerve, of course, down the back of the leg, sciatic nerve. And who's that? It's the semitendinous muscle. Semitendinous muscle. And that's medial, of course. Well, it's on the top, not really medial. This little guy's medial right here. This is more on the top. And it flexes the knee and extends the hip, just like the bicep femoris. And guess who the nerve is for the innervation? The sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve, sciatic nerve. Okay? And who's this guy? That's the semi-membranous muscle. Semi-membranous muscle. And that's medial. And guess what he does? Like the other two guys, it flexes the knee and extends the hip. And guess who's the nerve? Sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. Inferior gluteal. Alright, who's this? That is the gastrocnemius muscle. Still calves, of course. Action, plantar, flex ankle, flex knee, tibial is the innervation for this one. Alright. What's this muscle right here? It's cut off. It's not fair, but take a guess. It's the gluteus medius muscle. Gluteus medius muscle. Gluteus medius muscle. It abducts, and it's medial rotation of the hip. And it's superior gluteal innervation. Superior gluteal innervation. Inferior gluteal innervation. So this is superior. The gluteus medius is superior. Who's this guy right here underneath that? That is the gluteus minimus muscle. Gluteus minimus muscle. Action, abducts, and medial rotation of the hip. Innervation, superior gluteal. Superior gluteal, superior gluteal. Bang, bang, bang. And who's that? That is Psoas, I'm sure. I just can't find. Alright. It's tibial. Innervation of the tibial. Psoas. Okay. Now this is a knee. What's this muscle right here? What is that muscle? It starts with a P. Popliteus muscle. It unlocks and extends the knee for flexation. For flexing the knee. So it unlocks it. And innervation is tibial. Tibial. Alright, let's do some articulations. Okay. And this right here. This articulation is what? It's the oblique popliteal ligament. Oblique popliteal ligament. And right here, it's the accurate popliteal ligament. Accurate popliteal ligament, oblique popliteal ligament. Okay. Okay, we're gonna start on this one. So this is the Glenoid Labrum, and that's an articulation. Okay, so this is the Glenoid Labrum, and this squiggly black or actually right here, I'm not sure. Right here will be the glenoid cavity articular cartilage. And this is the deltoid muscle, of course. Alright, we're going to look at this. What is this articulation? See where it connects. Okay. So this would be the acromioclavicular joint. Acromioclavicular ligament. Acromioclavicular ligament. What ligament is this? This is the coracoacromial ligament. Coracoacromial ligament. Because this is the coracoid process. What is this ligament? This ligament and this ligament are the same. So what are these? These is the coracoclavicular ligament. Coracoclavicular ligament. And what is this ligament? This is the coracohumeral ligament. Coracohumeral ligament. And this is the articular capsular ligament. Capsular ligament. Let's see if there's any other one. What is this? This is the glenoid cavity articular cartilage. Glenoid cavity articular cartilage. What is this? This is the lateral meniscus.
Now, did I expect such
What is this?
Zamaida.
Stop. What is this? Anterior Cruciate Ligament. Remember, because the cruciate's like a cross. So this is the anterior cruciate ligament. And back here, it would be the posterior cruciate ligament, right? And what is this? That is the transverse ligament of the knee. Transverse ligament of the knee. And what are these? The sides. So this one would be fibular collateral ligament. Fibular collateral ligament and tibial? Yes, tibial collateral ligament. And this is just the posterior side. Okay, so this is the posterior cruciate, and this is the anterior cruciate. And this is the lateral, right? This is the, nope. This is lateral, but this is the lateral meniscus. And this is the fibular collateral ligament. And this is the medial meniscus. And this is the tibial collateral ligament. Okay, so we did that. Next.